Hi, everybody. Ms. Lee here. Today we're going to be talking about writing rational equations slash functions. So basically, you're going to be given some traits of a graph or a function, and you need to be able to write the equation or function of this graph or whatever it is. We're going to start by going over some review of some of the things that you've learned throughout this unit about graphing and things like that. We're going to start with zeros. So when you have a zero at, say, like x equals 5 or x equals like 8, that means that you have x minus 5 or x minus 8 in the numerator. So the factor So when you have a zero, the factor can be in the numerator, but not in the denominator. So it has to be in the numerator, but not in the denominator. And so when you have a whole, that would mean that the factor is in both the numerator and the denominator. Okay, when you have a vertical asymptote, your factor is going to be in the denominator, but not in the numerator, not in the numerator. And then finally, when you have a horizontal asymptote, okay, so there's a couple things. There's two things. So first of all, the degree in the numerator and the denominator have to be the same. So there have to be equal number of factors. And the coefficients, the leading coefficients, have to make that proportion. So the leading coefficients have to make the whatever the horizontal asymptote is. So if you keep each of these things in mind when we're writing equations, you'll be able to write an equation for a rational function. Okay, so my first example is going to be write a rational equation with a vertical asymptote of x equals negative 1/3. And so as you know, this factor, so to speak, needs to be in the denominator. And so ultimately, since it didn't give any other information, you can have whatever you want in the numerator. You can have like y equals x plus 8 divided by, and then you need the factor for x equals negative 1/3. And so oftentimes students have difficulty with this, but ultimately you just need to solve this equation for 0 or get it to be 0, and then that'll be the factor that you get. So for this, what you would do is x equals negative 1/3. If you multiply by 3, you get 3x equals negative 1. And then you add the 1 to the other side, and you have 3x plus 1 equals 0. And so this is going to be your factor. And so you put 3x plus 1 in the denominator. Okay, so ultimately, when you're going the other way, you're setting it equal to 0 to solve for x. In this situation, you want to get it to be 0. So then you can write it as a factor. Okay, so this would work. And then basically anything, any rational expression with anything in the numerator that's not 0 would work for this example. Okay, so go ahead and give it a try. I'll see you in the next video. Happy day.